How cool was Saturday?
Well, you never expect a blowout like that, but it was nice to get that far ahead and kind of relax in the stands.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, you never could have thought that it would be like that. But they played great, both sides of the ball, and they keep getting better. Which that's the mark of a truly great team when you can for 14 games continue to get better, and they've done that.
Did you see the big advantage? Because last week LSU, whether it was Patrick Queen on defense or whether it was Jamar Chase on offense, they were a little yappy. I mean, were talking a little bit about the advantage that they thought they had in the upcoming game, and that was a little out of character for this team. I mean, you rarely hear them talking about the opponent like that. In your, I guess, your coaching experience and what you saw from Oklahoma, did you see LSU having that large of an advantage against that team?
No, I didn't, but those guys study a lot of film. I think that's a great thing for LSU is that those players know what they're looking for and are confident when they see things they think they can exploit. And I know Joe thought at least they were in great shape to score a lot of points. And sometimes you maybe speak out of context and you give the opponent some fuel for the fire, but they were just confident, I think, and so that was a good thing to see leading up to that.
Yeah, and they weren't lying. It wasn't just bluster. They saw it, and that's the way that it played out. Jimmy, I want to ask you about a picture that I saw of Joe, and I think it's before the game. Jordy, maybe do you know where Joe is sitting cross-legged, alone, almost looking like he's in meditation. He has a Peach Bowl jersey on. I think he's in the locker room. But it just got me thinking, like, Jimmy, do you know what is Joe's pregame routine like on game day? Like, how does he get himself ready to go out there and throw 7 touchdowns in the first half?
Well, I'd like to tell you I know exactly what goes on in his mind and what he does beforehand, but I've really never been there, so I can only speculate that I haven't talked to him a lot about it, but I know he's just collecting his thoughts and going through the game plan, I'm sure, and it looks like to me that he wants a little time alone. There's a lot going on during the week with those guys now, media practices, taking care of tickets and those type things. And I think just looking at a few pictures where I've seen him like that, it's just the time to get finally one more giant focus on what's at hand and the task in hand and what he needs to do to lead that team. So it appears to me that it's working,
yeah.
Whatever it is.
I would say so. We're talking to Jimmy Burrow, longtime football coach, father of Joe Burrow. Coach, so earlier in the show, we did kind of a 2019 in review, right? The moments that stood out to us from this year. Obviously, y'all's family has had a fall for the ages. Like for any family ever, I think all time. Do you have a moment that jumps out maybe over the rest? Is it when you threw up the horns down in Austin?
I don't know. I think that was even pregame, so I'm not sure.
It was
pregame.
That was
pregame. I thought that was after the third and 17.
They kept showing that image of it, like the sun was sparkling. I mean, it was like,
I love it.
Well, people want me to take pictures with them all the time now and throwing the horns down, but I've refrained from doing that. But there's a lot. I think the first one was 3rd and 17 against Texas when in the one of the most pressurized games that I'd seen Joe in. They connect on that touchdown pass. That was huge. Just the satisfaction of the Florida game, because I know how much that meant to Joe personally, because they had lost that game last year, and and certainly for me, A&M, when they took Joe out for the final time there at LSU, those are 3 big highlights for me. I mean, they're many, and you could go on, but for our family, I think those were 3 of the best.
Coach, do you have a drive it stands out this year. I was saying that the drive right before halftime in Austin was my favorite of the season, and it was only 3 plays because they got the ball back. Stingley set them up in good position. Joe throws 3 darts to Chase and then 2 to Jefferson. Hits him in the back shoulder for a touchdown right before half. That was just a drive that I thought to myself, wow, LSU's offense is really, really different.
I like the first drive of the Alabama game. That's mine.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I'm going to go with either one of the last 2 scoring drives against Alabama under the most extreme pressure all year with the the fact that Alabama had won so many games in a row. They were coming back. They had momentum. The fans were just going crazy. National television, the audience, the president in the stands, and on the road, and they put together 2 unbelievable drives. So you could pick either one of those to stem the momentum back to them and basically get them to have a chance to where they are today. So, but again, tons of them, lots of drives, and all those skilled people on offense have had their moment in those big drives, and that's even better, and that they've been able to do that with a lot of different people.
Now that the hay's in the barn, now that the Heisman's on your mantle, when did you think to yourself in the moment, my son's going to win the Heisman? There's his moment.
Well, that's a good question. I figured after that Alabama game that he had maybe a leg up on everybody. The A&M game was just all the hype of Joe's senior year, and then they go take care of business. I'd say probably after the A&M game, you just knew that probably nobody was going to be able to overtake him, and there was a sense of satisfaction after that game that he played so well. They had played so well against A&M after that overtime loss last year, 7 overtimes, and you just know then that the team is good enough. Their record stands for itself, and Joe's statistics are standing alone against anybody else in the country. You just probably knew at that point that he was going to win.
Where is that Heisman Trophy? Have y'all gotten it yet?
Well, again, good question.
What?
We have the Golden Arm trophy sitting right here. I'm looking at it now on the fireplace, and but actually when it was shipped in a big wooden crate, I thought that was the Heisman, and the FedEx lady was all fired up. They'd had pictures down at the FedEx station with it. They thought it was a Heisman too. She said she was famous for getting to deliver it, but it was the Golden Arm
Just
Award.
the Golden Arm Award.
Sorry about that. Come back tomorrow.
Damn, Davey O'Brien! Just throw it through the window.
Coach?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry for T-Bob talking over you.
Yeah, I got a little
So the
excited.
Heisman Trophy is not landed yet.
It is not. It's we just know that we get one and LSU gets one, and hopefully we can get some kind of a replica for over at the high school here at some point. But that's going to be a big day when we get it.
Yeah, the Heisman at Joe Burrow Field, I think, will go together quite nicely. Coach, did you watch that Clemson Ohio State game at all the other day?
Yeah, I got to watch for sure from second half on. I didn't. I hung out at the stadium to see Joe after the game, and was able to visit with him just briefly after his press conference. So we got back to the hotel a little late, and then Joe came in and actually watched most of the second half with Joe. So that was a good thing. And 2 great teams. I don't know. It looks to me like if they'd have played 10 times, it's probably 5-5. Well, a lot of great players, both sides of the ball, and it just like probably this next game, it's going to come down to who can make a big stop and who can do something late to get the momentum and win the game. So either team would have been a great matchup for LSU, and it ended up being Clemson.
Coach Jimmy Burrow every Tuesday morning with us here on Off the Bench. Have you made plans for the national championship yet? When do you guys get in?
Well, we're working on that. We're not 100% sure. Robin's back at work next week at her principal job, and we're hotels and tickets and all that. That's a process. So we're trying to go through with our family to see what's best and where to go. But we'll be there sometimes that weekend for sure.
Happy New Year, Coach. Talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on, and go Tigers.